Aquarius tangent, bitches.
And I'm blown out. There we go. There we go.
There she is.
My camera does that every so often where it just blows me out. And I'm like, oh my God.
I like it though. I quite like you being the ghostly one. I just look like I've got a bit of a tan when clearly in the UK right now there is no tan here. None
I
whatsoever.
have my snow white skin.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So today we are doing a bit of a random freestyle because neither of us have decided on a topic. We've looked through our list, we've decided fuck the list. But we've both got shit we want to talk about, so we decided to just kind of like, yeah, randomize and freestyle. As per usual, pre-recording, we've gone into, well, for almost an hour now, talking about other stuff. And at varying moments have said, should we just hit record now? Should we just hit record now? And then the conversation changes again. So we're just like, fuck it, let's hit record and see where it goes, really. But one of the things that we realized we hadn't done yet is actually really talk about what it means for us to be Aquarians. And seeing as that's the name of our fucking podcast, it's likely that we should fucking discuss it at some point. So just to kind of like backtrack over what we were talking about, we were laughing about the similarities. Heidi and me have got a lot of similarities in our Aquarius nature, and we're both, what are we, both Cancer something?
Cancer risings.
That's it.
Oh, babe, I can't wait till I get into your chart. I cannot wait.
But obviously, just as a bit of a I don't know, bit of info. I don't know very much about this. I know what I know. I don't know enough to talk about this sort of stuff in depth. I can only speak for myself from my own, random knowledge. Heidi, on the other hand, is actually very well versed in astrology and in, reading charts and understands the intricacies way more than I do. So you will see me deferring to Heidi and I'm going, I don't know. And Heidi will be like, oh, it's this, this, and this. And I'll be like, thank you. Because I ain't got
And you know what? The crazy thing is everybody's like, you're an astrology expert. And I'm like, no, I'm just beginning on my astrology journey because that's a fucking deep iceberg. There's so much to know. I know enough to get I know enough to get by and to understand things and to explain certain things, but I don't know enough to be like, oh, here's everything in the world. And like,
so
I do have somebody that I'm currently watching right now. I'm waiting for their astrology course to come out so I can like actually study it. I do have like tons of books on my shelf. But I know enough to get by and enough to explain things to you and to other people who don't understand it. So
yeah. And I would that's just simply you managing other people's expectations of the depths of your understanding of it. But the thing is I would say I understand enough to have conversations with your average Joe Blogs on the street, and I know more than they do. You know more than I do. But you also know more than probably 5, 6, 7 people between us. So, okay, no, let's not call you an expert, but you certainly have a depth of understanding that perhaps a lot of people watching wouldn't necessarily have. So don't be fucking shy about it, fucking own it, all right?
I know a lot, but also not enough.
Yes. So
cool, wait until I study it.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to turn into a bit of a monster.
Which is just the Aquarian way. So what we were just talking about, we're planning on doing an episode where we pull a load of Aquarius memes that we see that are highly relatable for one reason or another, and we basically just sort of analyze the fuck out of them and see where the similarities lie with us, and also where the huge fucking chasms of difference actually present themselves as well. And we're not mentally or emotionally or physically prepared to do that just yet. But one of the differences that we've just talked about is how Heidi is a Pisces magnet and I'm a Sagittarius magnet. Heidi, do you want to just drop in your fucking one-liner because I love it?
Okay, so my best friend is a Pisces, and I have a few other friends that are a Pisces. And at one time when I looked at my pool of friends and when their birthdays were, I was like, holy crap, I have a lot of Pisces. Like most of my friendships are Pisces. And I was like, I'm no longer an Aquarius. I have so many Pisces friends that I am an Aquarium.
I love it. When you said it,
That was even like, and it makes sense in like a few different ways because I mean, it's just like you're taking the N of Aquarius and just changing it a few letters, and it's like the water bearer. So I'm just like carrying around an aquarium.
Beats carrying around a basket of dicks,
All
isn't
my
it?
fishies with only fishies in it.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And but I'm yet to come up with a snappy title for the fact that I tend to magnetize Sagittarians. So I'm like, what have I got a fucking centaur for? That's not very funny, is it? Like, I'll have to find a clever way.
A ranch. You're a rancher.
Yeah. Fucking cowgirl, like herding up the centaurs. And then we just started bitching about Leos. Well, I started bitching about Leos. So
your girl loves a Leo. And
okay, so let me fucking come at you.
backtrack.
This is where we kind of like hit record, wasn't it? So right,
Yeah.
so I have got a fuck ton of friends who are Leos, and I love a Leo because I love how the fucking, I don't want to call it a front, but like the confidence that a Leo carries themselves with. I love the pride and all of these things. And obviously I understand, you know, Leo and Aquarius directly opposite each other in the chart and rah, rah, rah. But I have tried to date a Leo and nah, because what happened was it was all fun and games in the beginning because it was like there was a mutual respect there. And I think that's why Leos and Aquarians really do gel, because we experience each other's differences, we respect each other's differences, we enjoy the dynamic of each other's differences. However, put us in a fucking room together too closely for a prolonged period of time, and it becomes like I felt like I had to fucking, I don't know, massage this guy's ego day in, day out. He wanted to talk every day. He wanted like loads of lovey-dovey fucking messages. And
Sounds like a Leo. Sounds like a Leo.
Yeah, right. I wasn't prepared for this because before he was sort of almost not aloof, but you know, it was like the pride. He didn't sort of show this side, where the needy side. And I fucking, if I ate anything more, it's you being fucking needy, because I don't, you know, don't make me beholden to you. Give me my freedom, Aquarian, give me my freedom, and I will fucking run back to you every single time. Now, if you restrict me, I'm going to break my way out of that fucking cage immediately, and I'm flown, right? I'm gone. So
yep.
It was like the pressure that I felt, and he just got so shitty with me constantly that I wasn't giving him enough like attention or affection or replying quick enough. And I was just like, what the fuck is this noise, you know? And then when
I would have loved to see his other placements.
When I tried to express in return, like, well, okay, you're telling me what you need. This is, I mean, he didn't tell me what he needed. He was just passive aggressive about it, or just sometimes plain aggressive. But when I tried in return to sort of express like, well, this is what I need and this is how I feel, didn't fucking care. Didn't give a shit. It wasn't about me at this point. And I was like, wow, I thought this was like mutual, you know, we were going to find something like, you know, a happy medium or something, or at least, you know, go back to pre-dating where we respected each other's differences. And then it was just a case of, you need to be like I am and like I want. And I was like, no, that is not happening ever with anyone. I know. I'll see you later. And off I fucked. So that was, nah, man, nah, mate. But friends, Leos, yes. Dating Leos, fuck no. That was a hell no from me. And forevermore, I'll be like, oh, I can spot a Leo a mile off as well. Because you're naturally drawn, aren't you? You're naturally drawn. And then
because you're opposites. When they say opposites attract.
Yeah.
Aquarians and Leos are opposites.
I can't imagine.
On the,
If I fancied a guy and I was naturally drawn to them, and I you know, don't you? And then you're like, hang on, are you a Leo? And I'd be like, oh, downstairs would shut up shop. I'm not interested. I'm zipping it up, babe. I'm zipping.
That's amazing.
Close for business.
So the fun thing that for me is that I am I'm an Aquarius sun. So we're both Cancer risings. I'm an Aquarius sun, but I'm a Leo moon. So I live on that opposite axis. Like I live on that like Aquarian, the me, basically the way, the best way you can describe like when we're talking about opposites of signs and stuff, the best way you can describe Leo and Aquarius in like 2 words, me and we. Right? Very simply, because a Leo is, and so I'm not, when I say self-centered, it's not like selfishly, it's like they are focused on themselves. They are centering on themselves, putting themselves first. They have, like we talked about the pride, they're very big hearts. They've got such big, generous, loving hearts. I fucking love Leos. And then the Aquarians are more focused on the we, the community, the people around them, right? So it's like that's where me and we. So I live on that me, we act. Try being in my fucking head with that, okay?
No, I'd rather not.
But I also like really love my Leo moon because I was born under a full moon in Leo, so that means my personality is fucking big and bold. So imagine all of these Aquarian themes with the big boldness of like Leo, and I'm like, hi.
Maybe that's why I fucking knew, like, when I met you and I was just like, this one. Like, maybe because I was getting the Aquarius pull, but I was also getting the Leo pull as well. I don't know. That's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah. So because I love Leos too, because of the pride, and they have that, especially Leo males have that fucking swagger, and I'm like,
yeah, I know.
Damn it.
That's the bit that hooks me in. I'm just like, oh, and then I'm like, no, I've been here before. No.
I don't think, have I dated a Leo before? No, I don't think I've dated a Leo before. So it's only in my head. I haven't actually had that experience yet. So I guess we'll see. But it makes sense to when you're talking about like Leos are very like they need to feel loved and they need to be cared for and they need to have their feelings validated.
So you're saying that so nicely. I think that Leos, they need to be put on a pedestal. They need to be fucking worshipped. They're like going, oh, hello, I'm a Leo and you should fucking think that I'm the bee's knees. And I'm like, I already think you are. Now, how do you want me to prove that more? By acting like how you think I should fucking act? Like, I'm already like, for me, this is worship and adoration. The fact that I'm sticking around, the fact that I'm having these conversations with you, I'm showing you into my soul. You cannot tell me that I'm not showing you adoration when I'm opening up my entire self to you. But no, it's not good enough. I've got to fucking pave the bloody path with fucking rose petals for you, have I? I've got to fucking applaud every little tiny thing you do, have I? I've got to.
Well, the other thing you have to think of when we're thinking about Aquarians and Leos on that axis, me and we, you're also thinking of the king versus the rebel.
Oh, yeah, all right. Well, there we go. Bish bash bosh, isn't it?
Right? It's like I say that I'm very good at succinctly being like, here's what you need to think of it in these terms: me and we, king versus rebel. So me versus we, and king versus rebel.
Yeah.
Right? Which is why we love them as Aquarians.
But also,
and there's that tension there because Leo men also that I've noticed, and Leo women are also very much interested in Aquarians.
Yeah.
Because of that opposite, there's that pull, like, oh, they're the rebel, huh? How can I bring them? How can I bring them to heel? How can I tame this rebel? Where an Aquarian is like, how can we push the king? How can we push them? How can we get them out of their comfort, right?
Yeah, there's like it's like we want to help people reveal themselves, whereas Leos tend to kind of want to, it's a bit like the butterfly under the glass. They will admire you and like, wow, look at her, like free and all of this sort of, wow, she don't give a shit, woo, woo, woo. But then as soon as they've got you, they want to contain, you're mine now, sort of thing. It's quite possessive, I suppose. And even with my Leo friends, like female friends, there is a tendency for them to say things to me like, well, why don't you just do this? Why don't you just do this? And look at me as if I should take their fucking advice. I'm like, when have I ever asked for advice, let alone taken it? Like, no, mate, I ain't, you know, look at me.
Listen, we're Aquarians. We'll give you, we don't take advice, but we will give you advice, even if we haven't been in that situation before ever. We
Because we
still
know. It's because we have foresight, we have pattern recognition, we have a level of foresight that is beyond any fucking thing. And it's so clear, like the clarity is there. I can see this is what makes us, I mean, so intuitive as well. It's because being able to see, and it's like, I don't give people advice. I always ask a question so that they then come to the conclusion that I want them to come to. I manipulate them into submission and they go, oh yeah. And then when they come back, they'll say, well, I did what you told me to do. And I'm like, hang on, I never told you to do anything. You decided that on your own. And they're like, oh yeah, you're right.
We're very good at doing that. But we're the opposite, because I've had so many people, when I started my business, I was like, let's just start off with coaching, and see how that goes before I really got deep into tarot. And everybody was like, I had a few friends be like, yeah, but you love tarot. You should be reading tarot. Why are you not reading tarot? And I was like, it just wasn't there yet. Right. And then like a few months later, I was like, so I'm going to be reading tarot. And they're like, Heidi, we told you this like 6 months ago. And I'm like, yeah, but that's why I didn't do it.
And it's why it's delayed it. No, but that's right. What happens is if I've already got something simmering and then you tell me that that's what you think I should do, you've then you've restarted me, and I can't hear that again for X amount of time until it's my decision. It has to be my
yeah, it's got to come to us on our own. We can't, you can't tell us.
Yeah.
Even if you see it in us, you can't tell us.
Yeah.
Because
and if
we
it's
need
even
to get there on our own. And that's the beauty.
Yeah. And that's not being pig-headed. That's just the necessity to be self-led. Like Aquarians, we pride ourselves on being self-led. We pride ourselves on our individuality. We pride ourselves on the fact that we are different and from each other as well as everyone else. And so if someone,
no, finish.
Yeah, sorry. So then if somebody then says, you know, you're about to do, you're on the cusp of doing something and someone tells you that they think you should do it, you have then put me backwards. You have set me back like months in my progress, and I will fucking resent you for it for a long, long time, because you've actually then you've stifled me, you've shut me off, you've blocked me from doing what I was already about to do, but out of rebellion, or out of like the fact that you've removed my autonomy by suggesting it or giving me fucking advice. You've removed my autonomy, therefore I'm now incapable. Even if I thought, well, fuck it, I'll do it anyway, it won't come from the same place, and therefore it'll be pointless even trying to do it. So I have to go back. Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
And I have the best example of this.
I've got
Aquarian, and it was Aquarian to Aquarian. Okay. So when we record, sometimes we plan to record, sometimes we're just like, hey, you free? You want to record? Yeah, I want to record. So Luz sent me a message over WhatsApp being like, hey, I'm free. Do you want to record, or should I go to bed? And I was in the middle of like the kids being sick and this and that. So I know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm like, I'm really busy. The kids are sick, so you can just go to bed. The next message her is, don't tell me what to do. I told you so much. Go to bed. I literally voice noted her. I was like,
I was so annoyed. I was so annoyed. I was like, don't fucking tell me to go to bed. I'll go to bed when I want. And you were like, no, I'm just saying I'm not free. There were two options, record or go to bed. And I'm saying I'm not free, so go ahead and go to bed. But I was like, don't fucking, I'll stay up if I want, Heidi. You're not my fucking mum. I was so annoyed with you.
She came back to me with so much attitude, and I was like, fuck you. You asked me which one, and I told you there wasn't.
That's brilliant. What a great example. But it's funny. It actually is a perfect example, because it doesn't matter about intentions, or, you know, even when people are looking out for you, there is something innate within us that just feels like, listen, I think part of it is trauma response anyway in our lives, but there is just this whole fucking thing where it's like, listen, I am so fucking independent. I can do everything on my own. I do not need your help or support or advice or anything from you. don't think for 1 minute that I fucking need you because I'll fucking prove you wrong. It's all of that, like, sort of, I suppose that kind of the darkness of Aquarius nature comes out, where it's like, it's all very well and good, and, you know, and I take it with good intentions, but sometimes I'm just like, you know, and I do, and I might have a little, you know, have a little go, but you know, I fucking love you, so it don't matter, does it?
No, I know, but it's just like, should I go to bed or should I stay up so we can record? And I was like, kids are sick, you can go to bed.
You didn't say you can go to bed. You didn't say you can go to bed. You said go to bed. I remember it. And I think I said something like, I'm not being funny, mate, but so, you know, like, as a Brit, you know something bad's coming. If I say I'm not being funny, or with all due respect, or I'm not being rude, but then, you know, or I'm not trying to offend you, but you know something bad's coming if you preempt it with like a little bit of thing. But it's just, you know, it's like my mum will do it. Like if I'm going somewhere, like, you know, paranormal investigation, and she'll say something like, oh, make sure you wrap up warm. And I kid you not, like, honestly, even just thinking about it makes me livid. So I'm like, yeah, thanks, mum. I'm 40 fucking 2. I think I've got this, you know? And we laugh, we do laugh. And, you know, it's just it's a love language. Somebody looking after you and giving you a bit of love. It's a love language. You remember when I was talking to you, obviously we won't go into detail, I was talking to you about something else, and you were like, oh, as long as, you know, you look after your feelings and you make sure that you're not going to get yourself hurt and stuff. And I was like, fucking, do you think I'm not capable? Like,
So I was like, no, I do think you are capable. However, I just walked through a divorce, so I'm putting.
Oh, listen, that was me being a dickhead at that moment in time.
I understand that. I wasn't upset with you at it, but I was also like, give me some grace because I just walked through a divorce, so I'm trying to watch out for what I just went through for you because I love you. So even Aquarian versus Aquarian, we fucking put each other through this. Like, this is what it is. Sometimes we're contrarian just to be contrarian, and that's who the fuck we are. Like, enjoy being in our heads, right? Everybody's like, oh, but having said that, we are a fixed sign. If you, and nobody is as loyal as a goddamn Aquarius, because we have this capacity, because we're an air sign, we have, and a water, like we are an air sign, but I always say we're air and water because we're the water bearers, right?
Rule the fucking sea.
Yeah. So we have like we know how to handle emotion. It's not that we are aloof. It's that we know when to deal with our emotions and when we need to put them on the shelf for a second because we have so much shit that we're pragmatic like that. But this is also what makes us highly intuitive is the connection to those two elements. So it's like being in our head sometimes, it's a frightening fucking place because it's like we get all these things that are forward thinking and these emotional things that make us like, you say something to us and we're thinking 20 steps ahead and we already know the end before you know the end. And it's like, I don't know.
It's another reason why Aquarians have a tendency to interrupt each other, because we know, or interrupt everybody, because we know what you're going to say before you even fucking know. I mean, listen, I know if I say something, I know what you're going to say back. And then I just get the first 3 words of that sentence and I know where you're going with it. So then I jump in and I interrupt and it's an awful, I mean, we shouldn't do it really, but people think that, you know, oh, you're an Aquarian, you don't listen. And it's like, no, I listened before you even fucking said it. Right. And now I'm just responding is what's happening. But I think something that I want to mention before we go into that as well is going back to what you were saying about, you know, the level of understanding, the fact that we can have these conversations out loud and laugh at the bit, you know, the moments where we've kind of like, I don't know, not pissed each other off because it's not that deep, but like, you know, could have actually ruffled feathers or like annoyed each other to the point where a lot of other signs would be like, no, I've had it with her, like she's doing this and she's doing that. I've got friends who would have been like, no, I'm sick of her being condescending or just taking it out of all context, taking it personally, all of that. It's like our sheer ability to see things from other people's perspectives, but still react and respond and speak our truth and then laugh about how fucking funny the friction is. Because it don't matter, does it? Like when my friends will say to me like, God, you weren't half pissy the other night, Louise. And I'm like, right, because you were being a fucking prick. And they're like, you were being a prick. And I'm like, I know, right? And it's just funny. Who cares? It doesn't mean there's no love. It's like the love, the loyalty, the love, I will, if you're not in the room, I'm saying all the good shit about you, because if I love you, that's it. And I feel sorry for people that have crossed me or who have rejected my friendship, because you have missed out on a friend who will be fucking with you through thick and thin, by your fucking side, will do anything and everything for you, and who will see you and who will understand you and who will listen to you and will give you whatever it is that you fucking need in that moment, apart from we are also the truth sayers. So I will, you will, we, Aquarians, we will always give you what you need, not necessarily what you want. So, yeah. But that's from love. That is from fucking pure, unadulterated, untamed fucking love. So our ability to laugh at shit is so important, And
where this gets us in trouble, though.
Me fucking detached emotionally. When I can...
Oh God, don't, yes. No, the Aquarian emotions run. So I hate that when people are like, Aquarians are aloof. I'm like, fuck you. I have extremely big, deep emotions. That's maybe partially.
I don't, we do. I just go,
what? What? How dare you call me aloof? Just because I know when to be pragmatic and when to deal with things does not mean I'm aloof. It doesn't mean that I'm beyond feeling hurt. And I was like, and that's, I think, something else about us too, because we are a fixed sign. Fixed signs are known to be, right? We are stubborn, fucking stubborn.
No, I'm not.
I'm definitely, I have fixed fire with the Leo and fixed air with the fucking with Aquarius. So like, I'm stubborn. But that also allows us, because of our foresight and our forethought, to see the potentiality in people that tends to get us stuck with sometimes the not the right people, because we are such a sign that is also full of hope.
See, yes. And when we were talking about this the other day, I think I said about because I don't really relate to the term stubborn, although most people that know me would disagree with that. I see it as having a fixed sense of self, in terms of I've made a decision and therefore I will continue with that decision. And if you're pointing out the flaws in my decision making, you're assuming I haven't run through these fucking thoughts myself and then come to the conclusion that I've come to. I haven't just not thought of these things. I've thought about them, decided I don't give a fuck, and I'm moving forward with it. That could be stubborn.
Agreed.
But actually, I see that having a strong sense of self. I also think tenacity is a word to use. Like, we are fucking tenacious. And so, a dog with a bone, man. Like, and I'll tell you what, the bone still exists. So I'm going to go after whatever I want to fucking go after. And the rest of it, I don't.
And I'm not going to stop until I get it.
Right.
But a lot of Aquarians get what they want. Why? Because of that fixedness, right? We have a bone and we ain't going to stop.
And as you were just saying, we do have the foresight and the insight and the intuitive ability, plus the pattern recognition, to see potential, which then leads us to, yes, potentially staying in relationships longer than we ought to and stuff like that. Because with the ability to see into and beyond, we do then have hope. And we didn't get into this the other night when we were talking about it, but I think this is going to be an interesting conversation, considering our archetypal protagonist antagonist attitudes. The Disney, the and all of that sort of malarkey, which is another episode, definitely. So talk to me about how you feel about hope, because I can tell you right now, I am the fucking exact opposite, and I can't wait to talk about this.
Okay, so right here, this is how I'm starting my talk and hope, because this explains everything. This is my favorite tarot transit, the Tower to the Star. Okay, because of what I walked through recently in my life with the divorce, with leaving something toxic, that became a real big thing for me. The Star is Aquarius's card, and it is one of the key words for it is hope. I have a very, hope is what sees me through a lot of my life. And even though it's writing in Elvish there, because Lord of the Rings girly, it says there is always hope. And so that is my reminder.
Do you see my microaggression? I was like, I saw my own face go, yeah. Like, because I'll tell you, sorry.
So like for me, hope is something that's very important in my life. It is a guiding star and my guiding light, especially because I've walked through so much darkness that if I didn't have that, I probably would be lost. And that's why I brought up my tattoo, because it's like this epitomizes exactly how I feel about hope. And that's why I got this tattoo, is because it's so representative of that view and of me.
It's so important. And, you know, hope is like one of the most important things to pretty much everyone I know. And then I've got the I don't know why, but my attitude towards hope is it's bullshit. I don't want to fucking hope for anything. I don't hope. Like, I ain't fucking hoping. I'm just gonna either go and fucking do the thing or not do the fucking thing. And like, I don't want to. I just don't like the idea of hope as if it's like something, oh, I'm gonna use that word, tangible. It just, for me, it just, I feel like I've always been let down by hope. Whenever I've hoped, I've found myself in a land of disappointment. And so I don't hope anymore, which is strange considering I'm not a pessimist at all. I wouldn't even call myself like I'm like kind of like somewhere between a realist and an optimist, I would say, because I'm optimistic because I know that I'm capable of doing whatever it is that I want to do, right? So
Yeah.
then hope, it's just always let me down. I've hoped that somebody would be a lovely person, or I've hoped that I'd be proved right or proved wrong, or I've hoped that I don't know, I would be accepted for a promotion at work, or I've hoped every time, even when I've put in work to something and then I go, oh, well, I hope, you know, or when people say to me, oh, I hope this, and I'm like, don't fucking hope. Don't hope for me. I don't, the connotations of the word, and I think this is probably my own jaded, twisted fucking version of, I just feel very let down by hope. And so, again, you know, I'm real fucking like anal and pedantic about words. And this is one of the ones that has really lost a lot of positive attributes for me. And it's one that I don't tend to use unless I'm being flippant or frivolous with it, where I'm like, oh, you're going on holiday. Oh, I hope you get good weather. Right. Like, or, you know, I wouldn't say like, oh, I hope your meeting goes well. If you'd say you're going in for a promotion at work, I wouldn't say, oh, I hope it goes well. I'd say, don't worry, girl, you're going to fucking smash it. I don't want to hope for you. I want to fucking encourage you, because it just seems like airy fairy.
And I think maybe I think too, this is where our definitions of hope differ as well.
Yeah.
Because for me, I 100% agree with you. Don't hope for something for somebody. Don't hope for something for yourself. Go out and fucking get it. But I feel like hope is that spark inside of you that is leading you on your path.
That's self-belief. That's not hope.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
No, it's not. No. Oh, this is where we're.
It's the same fucking thing to me. There's always hope because you can have that self.
You finished your sentence there. You said it's the same fucking thing. I disagreed. Then you said it's the same fucking thing for me. And I'm not disagreeing with that because that's yours.
Yeah.
For me, it's the fucking opposite.
Here we go down Aquarius contrarians.
Don't argue with me, because even if you're right, you're wrong. Oh.
Listen, you're always going to be wrong with an Aquarius. I'm sorry.
Well, you know, unless you're wrong, in which case you'll be right. So, yeah. Like, even when people come to me and they're telling me what's wrong, I tell them what's right. And then when they tell me what's right, I tell them what's wrong. And it's just like, I think it's just because we really enjoy offering a full view. That's all. It's not, I'm not trying to be a contrarian. Yeah. I'm not trying to, you know, I'm just, we are trying to ensure that the full, each side of the coin is taken into consideration. I think that's.
Yeah. It's that it's the let's provide perspective because you're not seeing the whole picture.
It's the blinkerless view of things.
Yeah.
When people
Because
like,
I 1000% agree with how you see hope and how you're like, I don't want to hope for this and I don't want to hope for that. I want to go out and get it. 100%. I agree with that. But I also see hope as like holding yourself.
yeah.
And that's my definition of like hope is holding yourself.
Yeah, I don't.
In those darkest times.
I see it as a crutch that I don't need to fucking lean on because it's irrelevant, it's unnecessary, and my experience with it has been a bad one. So, but then all it is semantics when it comes down to the you know, the definition of how we interpret the definition of the word. So it's very
words aren't real.
Very fun to fucking argue about it.
But yeah, because words aren't real, right? Because I mean, yeah, you can go to the Webster's dictionary and pull out, but you have your own experience with the whatever the fucking world experience is, and this is what this word has solidified to you, right? It's like hope is negative. Me, hope is holding yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Whereas trust, you know, for me is holding yourself. So it's like again, it's just semantics. We don't need to get caught up on it, but I just find it really interesting.
Although I do need to say, hope, trust, and a little bit of pixie dust.
No, no. Fuck no. Do you know there's women who drive around in fucking little shit cars in the UK who've got that as like a bumper sticker? Oh, mate.
I never put that on my car. And I said that in like the most sarcasm. I think that's something else that people don't understand about Aquarians.
Yeah,
is that we can be sarcastic without sounding sarcastic, or we can be sarcastic and like it's dripping in sarcasm and there's no way you're gonna lose it.
I just think everyone should just take everything that you and I say with the pinch of salt and with the sarcasm, because I just think when you have to say to somebody, oh, I'm only joking, I just feel like, oh, I don't want to have to explain myself. You should know that. Like, come on, man. Like, you know, do you think I'm being fucking for real? Like, I feel like we walk with sarcasm but you'll know when we're being serious, rather than I'm serious, but you'll know when I'm being sarcastic. I think like sarcasm is the default setting.
Yes, 100%.
And then if I'm being for real, you will know I'm being for real because you know, your demeanor changes, doesn't it?
Oh my God. My 8-year-old child, I'm rooting her and I love it because I'll say, words will come out of my mouth and she'll stop and go, that's sarcasm, mommy. And I'm like, no.
No shit.
No, it's not.
You say to her, no shit, Sherlock. Like, you know.
My kids stand.
Poor little fuckers. Poor little fuckers. You know, the worst one though, the worst one is like, and oh fuck me, this is the worst one, is men. So you know, and this has happened to me fucking hundreds of times, countless times, where you have a bit of a back and forth and a guy will say something and it's like, it's either not funny or you will do a sarcastic look at them like, and they'll go, oh, I'm only joking. And you're like, yeah, so am I. Like, I'm still in the fucking joke.
Oh my God, I get that all the time where people are like, calm down. And I'm like, I am calm. I'm playing to your joke.
But then, exactly, I'm responding to your humor with humor, but then you think, and so now you're condescending to me. Now I'm fucking mad. Now I'm like, I know, as was I. And then I do like,
I know we only do this at the end of the episode, but I need to know, since we're mid-episode right now, please let me know in the comments how many people are like, can't do Aquarius now, can't do.
Yeah. Hit like if you never want to date an Aquarian woman now. And definitely share this with anybody that you know who is an Aquarian, who you're just like, holy fuck, this is exactly my mate right now. Like,
this is my friend, this is my partner, this is my daughter's son, family, whatever. If you know an Aquarian and this is like, you're like, this is what it's like living with them. Yes, it is. Please share it.
Yeah, definitely. And definitely comment if you think that we're not self-aware, because you're fucking wrong. I'll kid you not.
And if you are an Aquarius watching this and this is like, this is me, let us know too.
Subscribe. Subscribe. So I do this bit, right, where I act like I'm fucking angry. I can do it really well. I can drop into like really look, because I've got quite a natural like resting witch face, which I'm quite happy with. It's just, I mean, I find it really funny because as the second that I make eye contact, I'm like this. But if you catch me just on my own, I'm like just a fucking miserable cunt, you know. So I do a thing where I act like you fucking annoyed me. You were fucking not. You fucking, you know, and I can do it so when people go, oh, hang on, oh, and they're not sure, and I'm like, I'm joking, and people are like, ah, like that, and it's like, oh,
I do the same thing, but I do the same thing, and my kids get the brunt of it. Sorry. To my beautiful daughters, if you are watching this in the future, I'm very sorry for future.
Yeah, sorry for bullying you. Auntie Woo Woo loves you. You know where she is. Come to the UK. Come to the UK, girls. What I was going to say was, is it not part of the dark of an Aquarian? I can't speak for Aquarian men. The dark of an Aquarian, an Aquarius woman, that we love to watch people squirm.
I love to watch people squirm.
So I'm a massive flirt, like inappropriate flirt, right? Men, women. I'm you know, not. I'd snog a woman, but I am not. You know, well, fuck. I ain't gonna never say never. You know, if it happens, girls. But
I've tried it already. Not my thing, but you know.
Yeah, and I'm not. You know, I'm neither here nor there with it really. I'm just like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Listen, I'm single. Like, come at me. But not like that. But there's just this. Where the fuck was I talking about? I've lost it. What was I saying?
You were talking about Jesus.
Oh, being a massive flirt, watching people squirm. Right.
Yes, and yes, making people squirm.
So it's a little bit wrong at times, because it's a bit, you know, I'll flirt with whoever. I'll flirt with your fucking parents, right? And I'll flirt with like the woman I know. I'll flirt with her boyfriend. That's unusual, actually. If I'm friends with you, I won't flirt with your fella. But if I already know your fella, then I'm going to flirt with you, right? So it kind of like works the other way around. And it's just my person. It's not like flirt, like, ooh, come to me flirting. It's just a bit of sort of ribbon and stuff.
It's fun. I flirt with all my girlfriends. I hit on them all the time.
Yeah, I know, right? Me too.
Pretty sure I tell you how you're like a fucking gorgeous goddess. Like
yeah,
every day.
I'm sure I've said I'd love to finger you or something. I don't know. I'm joking. But
and like when my friends are on Instagram and they're like have the little question box on Instagram, they're like, ask me anything. I always type in there, I'm like, how did you get to be so beautiful?
We all do that to each other, don't we? We're all
how did you get that ass that don't quit? Can I smack it?
Fine. But sometimes you do overstep the mark when you know you shouldn't, because it's so fun to watch someone go, especially if they don't know you yet. And this is what's happened with me recently, that there's this, you know, I'm hanging out with a few people that don't really know me very well, but they know the people that I know. And so by proxy, they make the assumption that I'm sound as well. But they're just like, you know, they're kind of, and then all the other boys are just like, she's fine, you know, and I'm like, ah, you know, and they're just like, what the fucking actual, like, and I love them. I don't know if it's the squirm or whether it's keeping people guessing. You know, I don't know if it's a little bit twisted to be like that, but I love it. I'm just like, yeah.
I do too. I'm not gonna lie, I do too. It's for me. It's like I'm like, it's a simple pleasure. I just want to watch you squirm a little bit and go.
And then like, it's the not knowing. It's watching them trying to figure it out, and I'm like, yeah, keep guessing, baby.
Yeah, and it's watching them go from like, oh, he to, was that awkward? Did I like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're like, and then they're just, as well. It's like, especially the guys who definitely don't fancy you, so then they have to contend with their own like misogyny, and they're like, well, if I was attracted to her, I'd allow this, but actually she's too old for me and I don't really fancy this vibe, right? So I just have to politely go, ha, 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 and I'm just like, oh God, I'm intimidating you as well, am I? Brilliant, brilliant. Add that in. That's a fucking another cheeky bonus for me, the intimidation.
Yeah. I do think there is a lot of Aquarian women that intimidate men because we are so confident in ourselves that it's like, what's her game? How do we, what's our in, right? And it's like, you don't have an in
No.
with an Aquarius woman. You
Yeah.
don't have an in because there's nothing to, like, people who come at women like that who are intentionally trying to like prey upon them to try and get a partner rather than like are intimidated because we're just like, we don't have it in. Like I remember in my early college days, like going to clubs and stuff with women, I was always the one with my friends that would like keep an eye out on everybody. Mother hen over here, cluck cluck. Because I could fucking read a disgusting male mile away. And they would be like, they always had their buddy, like if he liked a girl, they would have their buddy come and like talk to me. And I would just look at him and be like, get the fuck out of here. I'm just here to make sure my friend's safe. And he's like, well, you aren't very nice. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I know what your job is.
The other fucking
go away, wingman.
You know, this happened to me the other night, and the guy, I was just like, off you fuck, no, I didn't say it. Off you pop to the guy, and he's like, you think you run this place, you think you own this place. I was like, no, I don't, but you're in the way. Move on, like move along, mate. You know. And
not
it's
for you.
They can't fucking suss you out. Like, why haven't my charms, my gross man charms, worked? It's just because you've got no charisma with me, babe. There's no riz there, boy, because I can fucking sniff your shit out a mile off. And this girl over here, she might not know, but I fucking know, and I'm in front of her. So off you fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So you're not.
Yeah. So like other women, we make great wing women because we watch out for our girls.
And the other thing I was going to say is, like, if you are an Aquarian woman and you have the flaps to have this kind of because it's not mean or bullshit, it's just like direct attitude, then you really have to get used to very quickly. You have to get used to not being very well liked by your average man. You know, and I get the piss taken out of me all the time about being a man hater versus being a feminist. And I always say to people, listen, I am a feminist, but that's about equality. My hatred of men is just a hobby. That's just fun, you know. So I always try
I love that.
so I always try and like add that bit in. But it's like, no, do you know what, babe? I don't hate men. I hate men like you. That's what I say. And that's it. Because I'm here with 10 fucking boys that I like. Right? The men that I actually think are decent human beings. Now, why, if I hate men, would I be with a bunch of men who I think are solid human beings, and it's you that I dislike, versus, let's have a little fucking, what's the common denominator, babe? That'd be you, wouldn't it? So go and fucking have a word with yourself and fuck off. So yeah, it's quite funny, isn't it? Yeah. But and then you really do have to, like, being an Aquarian anyway, you do have to, I think, from a very early on in life, get over the fact that not everyone likes you. And I think that we all go about that in a very, very wonderful way. I don't know about, I've not met an Aquarian woman who is desperate to be liked, ever. Like they might have their problems and feel a bit, you know, rejected at times and those sorts of things, but they're not going out and living their lives to please others 24/7. They're kind of
100%. There are definitely times in my life where, and even now to this day, where I feel like an outcast, where I'm like,
that's why we unite.
In a group of friends, and they're all chit chatting and stuff, and I kind of see, and I'm kind of taking this like outside view of their conversation, and I'm looking at it, and I'm just seeing how they talk and how they interact with each other, and I'm in that moment, I'm just like, I am not part of this group.
I know, I do that.
Like I am, but I'm not.
So then they say, because this is what happens with me, they then go, are you all right? You're quiet, which is obviously like the biggest tell when you're not in your zone of humans is like you're actually quiet, like and I'm like, no, yeah, no, I'm just enjoying, I'm just listening, and actually sometimes I enjoy being a spectator rather than a participant, you know. I'd like, and I'm just like, oh no, it's just you lot. But I also just think every fucking thing that comes out their mouth, I just think can't relate, can't relate, can't relate. Definitely I want to jump in and tell you how to handle this, but it wouldn't be very well received, so I now have to bite my tongue, and I just, even in my own fucking house, and I'm just like, what is going on? But this is why we find each other. This is why Aquarians are the activists and the facilitators, because we're leading a different way of being, and we need to hold the fucking light up so brightly that all the other weirdos, you know, I say this in my business messaging all the time, like, you need to shine your weird light bright so other weirdos know where to find you. And we have got that fucking club now. Like, and we are open armed about our club. We don't shut our fucking doors. You know, we are open armed. Come, misfits, come one and all.
Come be weird with us.
Yeah.
But again, that's the beauty of it, right? Is that it's we very clearly know who we are. And so we're making room for others to know who they are, and making space for their weird as well. Weird meets weird, and building that community.
Unless you're not weird and you're trying to pretend to be weird, but you're just a normie in disguise.
And then it depends on the type of weird as well, because there's like the weird like us where we're like take the piss out of each other, and then there's the weird like, might you be a serial killer? We don't want that weird.
Well, I don't know. I'd be quite, you know, I do love it might be fun to meet.
I love my true crime.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It might be fun to meet one in the wild. That's bad.
Maybe.
Should I? Am I just inviting? Oh fuck! It's not like vampires, is it? Serial killers. It's fine. No. Not inviting them in.
No. I for one do not want to meet a serial killer in the wild.
No, I don't. Neither do I. Thank you. Just an FYI. Fuck. Disclaimer: Lou does not want to meet serial killers. Thank you. Love you anyway. You're fucking Leos. I bet it's all Leos, isn't it?
I don't know.
Geminis and men.
Might be Geminis. I don't know if it'll be Leos. God, I hope not. You know, I'm gonna go back through fucking my list of serial killers and be like, what are their surnames? Because now I have to know, because now we're talking about this.
I am gonna Google what's the most common star sign.
Scorpio would make sense. Gemini would make sense.
Serial. What's the most common star sign of serial killers? Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, and Sagittarius. So both you're my crew, my mum, and the rest of my family are Cancerian. Plus, we've got the old Cancer fucking.
We got a Cancer rising.
Oh, least common Taurus and Gemini.
You'd think it'd be the opposite, but yeah.
I'd imagine, yeah, because you got, yeah. I mean, if you think
the twins of the split personality there, but. Interesting. Pisces. All right. I have a Pisces best friend. I'm going to ask her. She's secretly hiding dead bodies.
20. Oh, a chilling statistic.
If you are any of those signs and you are not a serial killer, please comment.
It says a chilling statistic revealed that water signs contribute to a staggering 28% of killers. What? We're the water bearers. Way, we're just breeding fucking serial killers, mate. What the fuck?
No, we're the people that catch them, because Aquarians make notoriously good detectives. So we'll just catch them.
Mate, they're so funny. That's cracked me up. Yeah, okay.
Yes, don't take that for a fact. I was just literally talking out my butt because I love solving puzzles. Yes, and Myst was my favorite game growing up.
Well, there we go. I mean, we know nothing about this as usual, and I would like to put a disclaimer in here, because we've talked a lot over the last few episodes, and I'm sure we'll continue to talk about a lot of shit that some of it we know about and a lot of it we don't know about. Is pure conjecture and pure, like, just us talking smack about this, this, and this. We are not claiming to know jack shit about the things that we talk about, other than the things that we specify.
Maybe we should start putting that in. Maybe start putting that disclaimer in our like.
No, well, I sort of did. I already have a little bit.
Okay, good.
But I just want to make it clear, like, the things that we do know about, we make it very clear that we do know about those things. Everything else is just fucking, we're just chatting. And so when Alice was around the other night, and I showed her one of the episodes, the one where we're talking about witchcraft and Satanism, and I said about, because she's pagan and she actually does partake in the worship of pagan, the pagan deities and everything. And I said about, I was like, well, the bit where we were saying, oh, the what the devil was based on and that. And I was like, I think I said Baphomet. And she's like, no, I think it's this one. And she showed me, and I was like, I think you're right there, mate. Like, so, and I can't remember what it was, but we need to pop it in the description. But the point is whatever, we're not claiming to know shit that we don't know. We're just fucking talking about shit that entertains us and may well be entertaining for other people. But what we do know about, we'll make it clear that we actually, this is what we do know about. But what's the harm in having fucking fun conversations about how Aquarians apparently breed being the water bearers, we breed serial killers? It doesn't surprise me.
Well, I don't know if we breed them, because I mean, you said most serial killers are like Pisces and stuff, which there are people.
Yeah, but water signs, that's what I'm saying. That was the one off. But the rest are water signs. And then earlier on, you were saying like, oh, fucking, you've got an aquarium. Well, you know what's coming out of your aquarium? Fucking.
Oh, okay. We collect them.
And then set them free.
I have a lot of Pisces. I have a lot of Pisces friends. I should like watch them and be like, which one of you is a potential?
You just have to be super duper nice to all of your water sign friends from now on.
Yeah.
That's freaked me out a little bit, to be fair.
Also, I find that I'm also not terribly surprised by that, because like they're highly emotional, and so I bet you, unlike like fire signs who are like reactive, they like sit in those watery depths.
They boil and
stew in it sometimes. It's interesting.
Stew. Whereas a fire sign, I imagine, is more the crimes of passion.
Yeah.
Whereas like a water sign would be like, keep flowing back into the same fucking, oh god. And then there's us Aquarians that just like, nah, I can't be bothered. Listen, they'll kill themselves. We'll let karma do the job. I can't be bothered. I'm not having that on my conscience.
Oh, I would say as Aquarians and air signs, I would say that it was more like cyber attacks, especially with Aquarius being the sign of the future and technology. Cyber attacks for that sign. I'm not saying that there are Aquarians out there that are doing this. I'm just saying that based on the themes of Aquarius, if Aquarius was a person and a criminal, it would be most likely this.
See, I think that we would be more, I am more inclined to get like perpetual revenge. I'm not going to kill you. I will make your life a misery from here on out. Like that.
Also, probably the protesters. You protesting, right?
Yeah.
Starting riots and stuff.
25 famous serial killers who are Aquarius.
Gary
Ridgway, the Green River Killer.
The Green River Killer?
Louis Garavito.
Okay.
I've not heard of him. Jerry Brudos, 19.
I know him.
Not heard of him. Robert Christian Hansen, the Butcher Baker, 70s. William Devin Howe. That's my birthday, 11th February, but 1970. Ugh. Oh my god, he's serving 360 years in prison. That was prevalent. Oh god, there's fucking loads actually.
We've gone down a weird.
Maybe we should take it all back.
We are a sign of hope.
All of them though. There's like, he was an exceptionally bright student, but and I'm like, right, it gets you, doesn't it? It gets you being all fucking clever and that.
Yeah.
This one, he would approach victims and yell robbery. He would then shoot them without taking anything. He's just having a lull. Sarcastic. Lol. Not really. Bye. You know. Oh.
And this is the depths that our conversation has come to on this tangent today. Be a whole episode discussing serial killers who were Aquarians. You do realize this.
Yeah.
I also feel like it's very Aquarian. I mean, I know there are lots of signs that talk about different things and go on tangents, and they're but I feel like for us as Aquarians, like the reason we call this Aquarius tangent is because we are both Aquarians and we go on lots of tangents, as you can well tell by how many episodes are we in now? I don't know. And but I feel like all of the tangents, and you and I were discussing this before, the tangents relate back to the whole, but it's like we have to, and it's like we're talking about before with perspective shifting and seeing the whole picture. It's like we have to, if this is what we're talking about here, there's all of this relational stuff, and we do bring it back in like a little flower, right? So we go, "Oop, let's talk about this tangent, and oh, let's talk about this tangent, and let's talk about this," because it's all relates back to the whole, but it's all these little weird offshoots and the way our brains work that we can see how these things in our world and in our space interact with each other that relate to what we're talking about.
Yeah. It's that what we were talking about was that tangential thinking, and how people's, or certainly what is the most common definition of tangential thinking is that you lose your train of thought, you lose focus, and therefore you go off on tangents. But actually what we do is, yes, we go off on tangents, but they are very much a bigger part of, you know, or a smaller part of the larger picture. And it always,
we come full circle.
It always comes back around to there's always a point to it. So as much as it seems random to other people, it really isn't random. Everything we've spoken about, everything we've got on our list, everything that we talk about always comes back to the same stuff every single time. It's just that we've got a multitude and a plethora of ways in which we can talk about this stuff that's relevant, that covers a fuck ton of different ideas and fucking perspectives and everything else, which I think is a beautiful thing. We think is a beautiful thing being Aquarians, but I kid you not, so many people are just like, I don't understand your train of thought. And I'm like, well, you don't have to follow it, but keep up in it.
No. So I'm going to bring everything full circle now, because I think we've been recording for like an hour now. If you want to jump on this train and go on these tangents and adventures with us, give us a subscribe. Because there's going to be more to come. I don't see us stopping anytime soon.
Never. That's the serial killer in me. Never.
That's the fixed sign in me. We just gonna keep going on this train ride now.
We are. We're on, and we're
yeah. So like, if you want to come on this ride with us, please subscribe, because there's gonna, and turn on your notifications, because for when the episodes drop, because that way you can come along and all the little wild adventures we have. You know, if you are an Aquarian and you resonated with this episode and all the little weird tangents and how we think and how we are, please like this episode. And if you know an Aquarius, share it. If you have a if you are an Aquarius with a fun story, or have a fun story about an Aquarius, comment below, because that'll be fucking, we would love to share some of those out.
Yeah. And the whole point, and we said this right in the very beginning, the whole point of us doing this is to open up conversation and dialogue about shit that doesn't really get discussed very often out loud. And I think that for anybody that is like, fucking, oh my God, yeah, get in the comments, absolutely chime in, right? Chime in. We want to hear anything and everything, any thoughts that you have, any ideas, disagree, agree, you know, like start a row with us, like tell us how great we are, tell us how awful we are. Give us suggestions on what else, you know, that we could potentially discuss. Although we've got 1,000 things on our list, there's always room for more. Or if we've covered something that you think, do you know what, I'd like to go into that deeper, then let us know, because that's our favorite thing to do. Like, we cover a broad range of shit because we're just kind of freestyling. But if you have got a particular section where you think, do you know what, you started talking about something and actually it would be really beneficial for me if you guys were to go deeper into this, then fucking let us know, because we are,
Yeah, because we'll do that.
very, very active, and we will absolutely take it into consideration and take it on board.
And I don't know what it is, but every time Lou says freestyling, I just want to be like, freestyling.
See, I want to go freestyler, rock the microphone, dun dun, aerial, straight from the top of my dun 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 dun. Do you remember Bob?
Maybe this should be the end. We end how we begin with the dance this time.
Freestyler, oosh, rock the microphone. Yeah, it's not really my vibe of music, but who knows, because we're so eclectic. That's another one for another day. The eclecticism of an Aquarian. But yeah, all right then, well, we're going to fuck off now, but yeah, do all of that stuff, and thanks ever so much for joining us and seeing it through with us. Yeah, get involved, people, get involved. Chime off in the comments.
Sound off.
And yeah, come and give us a little follow on Instagram as well, where we just we make twats out of ourselves over there as well. So if you enjoy us twats of ourselves more over there. All right then. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.